Okay, so welcome to the first session in room 2, and I'm hosting this together with Sedan. We're going to hear some stories, five different stories from, first of all, from Mayamin. Are you here, Mayamin? Just to check.
Yes, I am. I'm wearing a scarf now. That's it.
Okay. No. I'm just looking at the program. That's why. So we're going to hear from Mayamin. We're going to hear from Dipti from India. Mayamin from Qatar about her experience with Iraqi teachers. Ravi from India. Vanita
I'm here.
also from. Yes, great. Vanita also from India. I saw you're there. And Maria Marta from Argentina. So 5 minutes each. We are going to be a little bit strict with time, according to our phones, just so that we do that. We're going to hear the five stories one after the other. Please note down your questions, your comments, because we'll have quite a long time for discussion, questions, comments after the 5 stories. So let's just start with Mayamin. Welcome, and over to you.
So you'll be sharing, or do I know? No. We just talk. Okay.
Yeah. Just let me repeat. Actually, we've decided we're not going to actually share the screens, but any time you can go and look at the posters that through the program, the people here. So I put the link into the chat of the program, and there are posters and other things in there for you to look at. Go over to you, Mayamin.
Right, lovely. That's thank you for this. I would like to welcome everybody here. I can see now that I'm wearing a scarf. This is the new Mayamin. It's because I'm going to Hajj, inshallah. It's part of the pilgrim of Islam, the fifth pilgrim. So inshallah, this is the new me. I'm going to be talking about my how I mentored Iraqi teachers. Let me go back and say who I am. I am Mayamin Al-Tai. I work at the Qatar University. I look at the quality assurance. At the same time, I teach English language teachers. But originally I am Iraqi, and when I go to teacher training in Iraq with the British Council, we have a struggle when it comes to supporting the teachers and their CPD. I'm sure a lot of you know that the country has gone through civil wars, has gone through a lot of wars, not only civil wars, and then COVID-19 came and struck the country, and education stopped literally for around a year and a half. Teachers started to struggle to update their knowledge in the classroom. So going in and back to Iraq and talking to these teachers, I started to thinking, how can I help these teachers? And listening to a lot of conferences where the lovely ladies that were here, like Sedan and Marianne and so on, and with Richard Smith, I heard about mentoring. So I thought, okay, let me start this mentoring in Iraq. So I started on the 1st of July, 2021. And I started with 7 Iraqi teachers, and these are from Haider, who is in Baghdad, Nawar from Babylon, and I had around 5 teachers who were in Mosul, which was more hit by the Daesh and ISIS, and they needed that help more than the other parts of Iraq. As you can know now that I was not in Iraq, but I had to start with them, and some of them I did not even know them, or not even know their faces. So the only way that we could meet up was through using WhatsApp. If you go to my posters, you'll see some of the communication that I had before coming back with the chats. The discussions and the problems that they were facing, I would listen to these teachers, and the biggest role that it was for me is just to sit down and listen literally to their concerns. And before I can mentor these beautiful, lovely teachers who worked with me for more than 2 years, is check on their well-being. Their well-being is so important, especially as teachers. We forget that we come first, and our health is important. So we start by looking at what they've done, how was their day, and you feel that they're there to relax and talk about their problems. And then as a teacher, you would, or as a mentor, you would start to ask them, okay, you have that problem in your class. Well, how do you think you can solve it? What do you think of this magazine? Or what do you think of this book? Or what do you think of this articles? Some of the articles I would translate, I would sit with them and talk to them and translate it into Arabic. And then I would listen to them supporting each other, coming up with solutions. I tried my best not, as a teacher, to put anything in their mouth, you know, because you want them for them to be a critical thinker, to find solution, to have that discussion. And I was so happy and had a big smile on my face when I would listen to these teachers helping each other. And trying to find, oh, I did this, why don't you try this? I've looked at this, why don't you try this? And it was so beautiful. Then came in March last year, where they all came and started to present their outcomes and present everything in front of international audience. And that, again, put a smile on my face, especially that it was the first time for them. Overnight they would send me through WhatsApp, oh, I'm scared, I might don't know how to talk, or I might make a mistake or anything. And we said, just try it and just do as you can. And as my colleagues, you saw what they did, and they were brilliant. Now it's become a big thing in Iraq. So we started with one school of a teacher. Now the teachers are becoming the mentors, and they started to explain what they've done with me. And inshallah, you'll see others continuing with that big thing that we are doing now, the mentoring in Iraq.
Thank you, Miriam. That's that. I have to stop you there.
I was just going to say, and that's all I wanted to say. And thank you very much for this. Okay, lovely.
Thank you, Maiman. Perfect timing then. Thank you. Lovely story. Next, we'll go over to. So do remember Maiman's story and think what you'd like to talk to her about that. We're not going to have breakout rooms. We're just going to have a discussion all together. Dipti, over to you.
Yes. Should I start?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody, and maybe good afternoon in other part of the country. I am Dr. Dipti Trivedi. I am working as a lecturer in District Institute of Education and Training in Gujarat. My mentoring journey started with the IATEFL. Firstly, I mentored 6 teachers while I am working with British Council and in ARMS scheme, APTIS research mentoring scheme. Then after again, I mentored for the 5 teachers in the IAT at the to present in the IATFL. So at that time, I am working with a human happiness project based on Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. At that time, I worked with more than 144 teachers of 37 countries. So while I selected to mentor the teachers, I made the group of 5 teachers, mixed group. One is from Malaysia, 1 from Kolkata, and 3 from Gujarat. So at the time, it is very easy, I feel, and all are working with me interestingly. But soon I started my journey on May 7, 2021 to made WhatsApp group, first of all. And then we discussed for the first online general meeting. At that time, I feel that Malaysia is ahead of 2:30 hours than Indian time. And we selected to work on Sunday. So for the first meeting, all the participants, all the mentees were enthusiastically joined with me and engaged the first session of exploratory action research. But for the second time, I found that on Sunday, they feel some boring because they have their own schedule. Some wants for social gathering, some have to go outside. So at that time, I found that the time management is also needed for mentoring, because the mixed group also, the Malaysian time is ahead than Indian time. So we discussed, I again convinced them, I am talking with them with the WhatsApp group, and I arranged 3 online meetings then after, by convincing them. But I was thinking, what should I do to connect, to get attached all my mentees throughout the process for a long time? Because on the first hand, they are enthusiastically joined, but later on, sometimes they are not responding my messages. But at that time, I found the storytelling is a more convincing way. Because as we know, mentoring is not preaching, not teaching, and mentoring is not preaching or teaching. We have to convince the person in order to motivate them, not to force them to do research. So I thought that storytelling is more important method to arrange to
Dipti, sorry, it's muted now. Can you unmute it?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Okay.
Okay. So I found that storytelling is a tool that we can give examples and by stories, not by forcing to do research. So I used many teachers' exploratory research stories, told them and inspired them to discuss with me their own stories. And we have arranged 3 meetings, online common meetings. And personally, I always ready to talk with them on WhatsApp group, and I arranged three meetings with them personally.
So Dipti, thank you very much. So thank you for your story. I'm sorry I'm being strict, but we got the story. Thank you. That's great. It's about engaging them and using stories to do that. We'll come back to it. Thank you, Dipti.
Okay, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Our third mentor is Ravinaryan Shakrodi. Okay, Ravi.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Ravi from the Regional Institute of English, South India, Bangalore. It's a teacher training institute. So we train teachers for about a month. This is an in-service teacher training course. So I'm primarily going to talk about a group of teachers who came for a training in the month of July 2022, and then another group of teachers who came in August 2022. So in July, we had around 59 teachers from 3 different states. So during the training program, they conduct exploratory research. They identify classroom issues, they frame research questions, and collect data from different sources. So they complete the exploratory research. At the end of the 1-month training program, they make presentations. They also prepare posters and then have interesting presentations. After the training program, they go back to their schools and they try to implement their action plan. And that's when they carry out their action research in their own classrooms. So I generally give them 3 months time. So at the end of 3 months, they're expected to submit their action research report. So this particular batch, where we had 59 teachers, so after 3 months, I asked them to send their action research reports. But what has happened is most of them were not able to submit their action research reports, and I was interested to know the reasons why they were not able to submit the reports. So I asked them what happened, and they gave a couple of reasons. So like they said, we have just started action research. End of 3 months, some of them said we just started. We are, some of them said we are yet to write the reports. And then others said we have not done any action research. And naturally, I was interested to know the reasons why you were not able to do action research. Why didn't you write the reports? And some of the reasons are very interesting. Like some of them were not able to do it mainly because of lack of time. They were not able to balance time, comply with their school work, and then also pay attention to their personal work, complete the syllabus, prepare children for exams. That was one of the main problems, time management. And a couple of others said they were transferred from that school to a new school. So it's a new group of children. They cannot continue with the same topic, same research questions. And then a few others said they had health issues. And then I asked them, what could I do to help you complete your action research? Maybe, so I wanted to help them, like as a mentor, to give them more support. They said, sir, make it easier. You have to make this exploratory action research process easier for teachers to do. They also said you can link it to the course, either have a split model, like 20 days of training where they do exploratory research, and then maybe after 3 months, we can call the teachers again for a 10-day program where they share their action research findings. So we could have a split model, they said, and maybe course completion certificate can be given after they complete their action research studies. These were the suggestions given by teachers. So I really wanted to make the process easier for teachers. So in the next batch, that is in the month of August 2022, when we had 110 teachers from 3 different states, I prepared a Google form. I gave them a template. I just wanted them to fill the template, like with their research questions, action plan, and then what they did as part of action research. So they didn't have to implement the whole action plan. Action plan will have activities for 3 months. I asked them to try out any 2 activities, and I didn't actually call it action research. I just said, try out 2 activities from your action plan, reflect on those activities, and tell me how it helped your students, whether it helped or not. So surprisingly, 89 out of 110 teachers were able to do that, which is a huge number. So 89 of them tried out 2 activities. They shared their reflections. They completed the Google form and submitted a reflective report. They said, some of them, reflections are also very interesting. First activity was interesting. Second activity, students didn't find interesting because of certain reasons. All those reflections were there. And so I'm just trying to know whether exploration really promotes action in the classroom. Does exploratory research take them to the next stage and complete? Does it actually help them to complete the action research cycle? So for me, I think exploration is very useful, but I feel they should also get into action, and that's when they try to collect some evidence for change. So exploration, as you all know, they gain research skills. They're able to frame research questions, interview people, collect data from different sources, and they try to understand the quality of life in the language classroom. But action, yeah, all right, yes. So
we got that. Thank you very much, Ravi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, over to you, Vanita. You may share your story with us.
Yeah. Yes. Good evening, everyone, and I'm Vanita. I would describe myself as a teacher, educator, trainer, and mentor. And I currently work with the British Council English Programs team. And I've been into mentoring in-service teachers actively from 2018. So here is my story. Once upon a time, in the enchanted land of Thailand, I got this fantastic opportunity, to work with a diverse group of 8 teachers on a British Council Thailand pilot project that kick-started in August 2022. Now, what was the major issue? The major issue that I faced during my support to teachers were that few teachers, they stopped communicating, for a while. They were not interacting with me on Zoom, on WhatsApp, and their response, they even did not bother to come back to me, so I felt that maybe, they've started to lose that motivation. So I, as a mentor, I exercised a lot of patience. I gave them the time and space, so that they could come back to me. And yes, it did happen. So as a mentor, we really need to give that space and time, to our teachers, just as we give time and space to our learners as well. Then I made an attempt to contact them personally, on weekends as well, as per their convenient time, to know the major issue, maybe personal or professional issue, they were facing. I act to them, as a soundboard, because at times teachers, they just want the other person, to just listen, without any suggestions or advice. They just need a good listener. I empathize with them, at the cognitive and emotional level, and supported them, by whatever action, I could, because each teacher, had different sort of a personal and professional issue, so I had to think of different solutions. I experimented with different varied interaction patterns, to include peer learning, so that one could inspire, the other. And I also valued and encouraged, their ideas, the way, they participated, in the meeting. And the best part was that instead of providing them direct solutions, I made them reflect, on a number of aspects, depending upon the kind of issues, they were facing in their classrooms, or personal issues, they were facing. And the best moment of joy for me as the mentor was to see them. Out of 8, 6 of them presented, at IATEFL ReSIG conference that was held in March. It was amazing to see them, as confident research practitioners, and sharing their research, with a wider audience. So what were some of the key learnings for me? To listen with empathy, understand perspective of teachers as well, about what do they feel, about their own classroom practices. Be flexible as a mentor, because, at times you meet with teachers, who belong to different cultures. So you need to accommodate, some changes as well, as a mentor. And yes, I did try to experiment, with a kind of a tool that is called as empathy tool. It's a visualization tool, where you try to capture the emotions, that the other person is going through. So it works like this. I don't know whether you are able to see this. So it has 4 quadrants, and I tried to capture what my teachers, they said, they do, they feel, and they think. So this way, I was able to motivate them, and encourage them to be a part of this program. And I'll continue to be flexible as I am, to empathize, with my teachers, and how I would always like to be open-minded to different channels of communication, because at times teachers, they don't prefer, the kind of channel you want to impose on them. So for Thailand teachers, WhatsApp did not work. So I switched to a line tool, wherein it just works like WhatsApp, but they were more comfortable, interacting, with respect to that too. And just elicit, as a mentor, try to elicit, rather than just try to suggest and advise. So this was my short story. Hope you liked it and you felt inspired a bit.
Thank you very much, Juanita. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay, Richard.
Thanks, Pranita. So, yeah, everybody, just please do remember any questions or comments, responses that you've got.
Take your notes, please.
Yeah, and last story will be from Mariamata. They will have a chance to talk all together. So, Mariamata, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
All right. Well, this is my story. It's a story of mentoring my fellow teachers at the school where I work in a sort of situated, continuing professional development occasion, let's say. This story started in the school where I work, where I'm a teacher. I'm my mentee's colleague, and this occurred here in Buenos Aires, Argentina, between October and November last year, 2022. The issue was that my colleagues, we have continuing professional development instances provided by the Ministry of Education, our local Ministry of Education, but in fact they don't seem to be adequate or the best options for our classroom realities. Our classroom realities seem to be very, very far away from what they tell us that we should do or that it's good to do. So I said, why not extending exploratory action research and sharing it with my colleagues who don't speak English, who don't teach English as a foreign language. In fact, my colleagues teach mathematics, history, citizen education, sciences, art. So I said, let's have a go at that. So we started with weekly meetings in the in-service time slot that we have at the school. So I mentored 10 teachers of different subjects. I introduced exploratory action research to them, and they started on their exploratory, let's say, cycle, and they did it quite well. The thing is that we ran short of time, you know, bureaucratic things about school timetables and school activities. So it was very positive since it was my first mentoring experience, and I was afraid. Of course, I was afraid, really a lot, very, very, but I could finally come victorious. And I feel very proud of my mentees because they, after the sessions, the meetings, they said that they had really appreciated discovering what was happening in their classrooms. And they felt, in a way, empowered to start action. Of course, we came to the end of the school year. So what we reached was the plans, what's their plans. But what I could say that from a personal experience, I discovered and I confirmed that exploratory action research is a powerful tool for lots of teachers and not only ELT teachers. This is the distinctive thing that I think I found and discovered through this experience, right? And not only is it powerful for teachers, but also for students. Of course, it's our objective as teachers to offer benefits for our students. And by the, I mean, we also benefit as teachers, right? So, well, you can see my poster, and very, very briefly, that's what happened. And I'm very happy, and I'm running a new group, a new workshop with other colleagues this year in the school. So I'm really happy about that, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Maria-Marta. Yes, and it's great to hear of your, your first experience of mentoring, and that it's although you said it was you were afraid sometimes, it's ended up in a very positive way. Well, we've heard from. We've got some time now. Let's finish the recording, and we're going to have a question and answer discussion session. So, Ernesto, you could.